Hello, everybody out there. My name is Amol Patel. You're watching the Smoking Hot Coffee Show, where we cover internet startups, startup culture, design, monetization, marketing. I'm joined with,
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Pelton. I'm down here in San Diego.
and I'm in LA. And you can reach Jeff at Comstern. You can reach me at Amol_Patel. So Jeff, we're still cranking along here. I think it's Cup 26 or Cup 27. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know why we were even naming this. We should just get rid of these fucking names. What do you think?
Names is a number,
Or
right?
a number,
Cup
sorry, a number.
26. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, however you want to do it. We could put the date, the date on it.
Maybe we should
It's
do the date.
February 28th.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing, now that we're doing more news, it might make sense. So, yeah, today is Tuesday, February 28th, 2013.
Yeah.
Cup number 26th episode we've done. So,
Cup number 26. So it's 26 in the can, or 25 in the can. We're moving on. So I appreciate you guys. If you guys are watching, keep watching. We're trying to make these things short. Let us know what you think. Are you missing the long ones? Are you liking the short ones? We're trying to create a news segment and a couple of startups. And let's just go right into it. So today, Jeff, you want to talk about this. So what is this, Jeff? I'm looking
you want
at
to
a
talk about a
letter
news story?
here.
So there's a news story that has hit the social feeds and everyone's talking about. You've been out and about today. We're shooting the show a little bit late in the evening, rather than usual. So you didn't read about this yet until I told you. So apparently, Groupon has fired their CEO, Andrew
Wow.
Mason, and so
Andrew
this is
Mason, Mr. Billion Dollar Baby's out?
yeah. So this there's a
What?
lot of stuff around this
He
the
was fired. He wasn't
Groupon.
just he was fired. He was
I
pushed out.
believe so. Well, so blow up the font here on the letter, and I don't know if you want me to read any of it, but
Uh,
it's
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it's
go for it.
pretty funny. So
So
let me go
four and a
for it.
half
So
intense years. Go ahead, read it.
yeah, so he starts people of Groupon. He knows this is going to leak to the public, so he posted it online. It says, after 4.5 intense and wonderful years as CEO of Groupon, I've decided I'd like to spend more time with my family. Just
What?
kidding. I was
Bullshit.
fired today.
Exactly.
So, so it's got a lot opens with a joke
That's cool.
basically.
That's cool.
If you're wondering why you haven't been paying attention, so he gets right into it that they've been in the news, right? Controversial metrics in our S1 filing to the stock prices, and
Right, right.
it's a
Yeah,
quarter of the
and the
listing
funny
price. And,
funny business with their numbers. I know that there's been
yeah,
some controversy
yeah,
there.
that was in the S1, right? They
Yeah.
made up their own like accounting metrics, and
Yeah.
and he says, as CEO, I am accountable.
Okay.
So he goes on to kind of say, how awesome Groupon is, and they should keep going, and this will give them a chance to kind of, clean out some bad
Hold
habits.
on, hold on, Jeff. Beyond all that, why did they fire this guy? What happened?
Well, what he says it right there, right? That
The
the
board is aligned
stock's a
behind a
quarter of the
strategy we've.
price, and
Right. So he says the board is aligned behind the strategy we've shared over the last few months, and I've never seen you working together. Okay, it's time to give public relief. I love Groupon, terribly proud of what I've created. I'm so lucky to have the opportunity. Blah 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 blah.
well, so here, wait.
He's
So he
not
says,
saying.
I'm okay with having failed at this part of the journey. If Groupon was Battletoads, it would be more like I made it all the way to the Terratubes without dying on my first ever playthrough. I am so lucky to have the opportunity to take the company this far with all of you. I'm I'll now take some time to decompress. FYI, I'm looking for a good fat camp to lose my group on 40. If you have any suggestions, then maybe I'll figure out how to channel this experience into something productive. So yeah, he doesn't really say, does he?
Well, he says,
But
hold on.
he
He
makes a
doesn't say
couple
it all.
good jokes in there.
It doesn't say it all. But I'm sure there's a lot of money behind Groupon. There's probably a lot of chiefs, a lot of fuckers on the board. It says, but I do like to say this one thing. He'd like to impart some wisdom. Have the courage to start with the customer. I don't know what the fuck that means. Are a lot of people starting with the investor? Are there a lot of people starting with the idea, not the customer? I don't know what that means.
Well, read the next line.
My biggest regrets are the moments that I let a lack of data override my intuition on what's best for our customers. Okay, that's interesting. So what are we saying here, Jeff? Is he saying if you're going to do a startup, make sure you make sure data driven, make sure that you're collecting a lot of data, customer life cycle costs, customer acquisition costs.
Yeah.
What are the data? What are the key metrics? How do you
Right.
measure? What's the data for market fit? Uh,
Mhm.
how would you even do that? Like I know market
Yeah,
fit is
I
a big
mean,
problem. Customer acquisition is a big problem generally for
I
startups?
forget who or when or why it was caused, but some people on the internet were quite skeptical of Groupon. I guess it was when they were filing the S1s. And there's some skepticism to whether or not they're even helping the businesses that are,
Yeah.
you know, pushing coupons through their service.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the sort of the jury was out per data. They were waiting to get like more data coming in. Like, do the businesses that use Groupon come back a year later and use it again,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
some things like that that would kind
Yeah.
of determine like, how did it work out? Was it good or bad,
So
or helpful? I guess.
this whole thing about group buying, I don't know if that's the end of it. I think Groupon stumbled on a very large, a very great opportunity, an evergreen opportunity, in my opinion, about being able to build a crowd and then be able to negotiate lower costs.
Yeah.
Priceline did it back in the early 2000s. Groupon did it in the 2010s or whatever you want to call it. I'm a big believer in this
It,
the group buying thing.
yeah,
Um,
I don't really know that it's a group buying thing, honestly. It doesn't really feel that way to me. It seems like, you're not using the group as like purchasing power. You're getting a crappier product, in my opinion,
yeah,
from
that's
the
right. Yeah,
sorts of
we've had our
services.
debates about
The,
this. You're right. Yep.
the people that are taking, the businesses listing on Groupon are doing so. They're offering their services at half cost for a
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, yeah.
It's
And
because
you're
they
right. You're
need
not getting the
clients, and then
exact
they're going to get
amount.
a
You're
whole
getting
bunch
a
of people
lower
in one day.
quality. Yeah, yeah. You're absolutely
So
right.
many difficulties with it.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that it's a real one for one like exchange, and
Right. Right.
and
Right.
so I'm pretty skeptical about it. Here's my question that I would ask Andrew Mason. I think if I could interview him,
Okay.
is what in the hell was he thinking when supposedly Google came to buy them out in like their
Oh,
first
that's
year?
right.
I mean,
Yes.
anyone who would listen to me
Hmm.
at the time, I was going, what is this dude thinking? How big are his balls?
He's got big
And
balls,
what
man.
in
He's
the
always had big balls. It's great. I love
Yeah,
it.
no, I love it. I just would like to. Maybe I wasn't paying
Wait,
attention or
hold on a
haven't
second,
looked
Jeff. Are
at
you
for the
trying to tell me
interviews.
you
But what
wanted
was
this
he
guy to
thinking?
sell? You would have preferred him to sell?
This is one of the rare occasions I would totally see a sell because I'm always for never looking for an exit strategy in its own right. Like I'm
Right.
for companies standing on their own and
Yep.
being able to do that. But
Right.
in this case, they had existed for less than a year, and
Yep.
Google had approached them
Uh huh.
for apparently. Do you remember it was like $1 billion, right?
Yeah, it was some
Um,
huge amounts. Yes.
And so this was like 3 years ago, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
saying he's been there 4 years. I believe it was a year in.
Yep. You're right.
And at the time, he was like 22, 23 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was a crazy story. Like,
Yeah. No.
wow.
This.
And, Mason has built this amazing company in the shortest time ever for the
Yeah.
highest valuation ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's going to not do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the icing on the cake for me was just the capital G.
Yeah.
The fact that it's Groupon and Google,
Yeah.
to me, is worth $500 million.
Well, I have to
And
say,
I don't know.
he was.
Hopefully, he had a good time.
Listen, he was on
Learned
a
a lot.
rocket ship. I mean, this is a crazy rocket ship. Now,
Oh yeah,
we're seeing another rocket ship. Pinterest is on another rocket ship.
sure.
It'd be very interesting to see where Pinterest ends up. I'm sure they're getting acquisition offers, but I think we've covered this enough. We'd love to see what your guys' feedback is. So let's get on to our first startup, Jeff, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to cover
All right,
that news
so
story.
Nulu, another language learning thing, huh, Jeff? Learn English or Spanish in 5 minutes a day. Oh, I like the fact that they're chunking it down to 5 minutes, which is pretty. I think that's a very low barrier to entry for everybody, really, right? And I also like the fact that they're not covering every language on the planet. They're just saying English or Spanish. I like
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
So clearly, they're going for some of the Western countries or whatever, and people that won't want to learn English or Spanish there. So here we go. So there's a laptop with a little graphics, fun little cute avatars with a play button. I'm gonna skip that and I'm gonna go below. They've got a 4-column thing where they've got a read, stale or fresh from donuts to language learning content. The choice is simple. Nulu gives you fresh stories every day. Okay, that's interesting. So they give you something to
Hmm.
read. Listen, unless you want to sound like a robot, don't learn pronunciation from machine. Nulu features native speaker audio. Huh, that's interesting. So I guess they have somebody reading it in the native language.
Hmm.
Discuss. Don't be shy. They've got a little discussion board with native
Cool.
speakers. And review. Paper cuts be damned. Replace painful index card studies with personalized review. I'm not sure exactly what this means. So Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. They've got some stories, and they're putting together an audio version of these stories, and then you guys can discuss. And they put together flashcards. Am I right?
Yeah, this is great. I think the review part is the memorization, which is kind of like the repetition. reading and listening is just submersion, right? It makes me, the way they put it, the way I was thinking about it is almost like what, like Spanish soap operas, right? Or something like that. Or you flip on a Hollywood movie, but put the Spanish subtitles or the, SAP on, right?
Right, right.
And,
So check this
to
out, Jeff.
force yourself to be submersed
So I clicked
in
on read.
interesting content,
I
but in
clicked on
another language.
I clicked on read stories, and now I've
Okay.
got read the news, learn Spanish. Learn Spanish by reading the
Oh, cool.
news.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. And as I
See, this is
hover
very,
over, they've got a thumbnail, and there's a science and technology, my favorite. And I hover over, and it says murder arrest
uh,
thanks to gum. And there's a detención de homicida gracias a un chile. I can't pronounce that. Chile. And yes, it's all Spanish. And there's
but,
audio. There's a
oh,
little speaker. Let's see if we get some.
oh, wow.
Clicked on it. I don't hear anything.
La
Oh,
policía
here we go.
dice que Gary Rao
Oh, that's cool.
asesinó a Blanche
This is really
Kimball
neat.
en Augusta, Maine.
Okay, this is very interesting. It's an interesting interface. So you're basically giving these short stories. They've got little speakers next to every couple of sentences, and there's a person speaking the story out loud. It'd be nice if they highlighted the words, and if as you hover over, it gives you the English translation. Okay, yeah, this is very cool. And then on the right, we've got a column of a Facebook feed where people are discussing it.
The discussion part. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the discussion.
Awesome. I totally, man, every startup we cover, what do I say? Like, show me the product and the
Yeah.
demo and
Yeah,
this is it, man.
this is it, yeah.
the whole thing. I totally,
Yes.
what they told me on their homepage, I am seeing in action here. The 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Right here. The read, listen, and
Yep.
discuss.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the fourth one, I forget, was the memorization part.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
what are the cards next to the turtle, rabbit, and at the top there's
Yeah,
a button?
so I think this is what they're talking about with the flashcards.
step 4?
Now I
Yeah.
clicked on it, and something is not working because it's just there's a hover.
Yeah.
There's a little tooltip, but there's nothing showing up. All right,
Then
so
once you
there's a turtle and there's a rabbit version. I guess I can speed this up or slow it down. I love the fact that they've got Facebook deeply integrated in this, so that as people start to discuss
Social.
it,
Yeah, I'm gonna
you-
give them some survival points for that.
yeah, yeah. So they'll start spamming each other's feeds. I love that. This is really great. I have to say, I'm not quite sure if this might actually work. If I was trying to learn Spanish and I can just cater my feed to Spanish versions of things that I want to read, this might actually work. I could actually see myself just skipping the English versions of stuff and reading it in Spanish just so I can start immersing myself in the language. What do you think,
Yeah,
Jeff?
this idea, once like I said, it kind of clicked with me, like the Spanish soap opera thing. I think in high school even they would play some videos, in Spanish class. It's just genius. I really love this idea of submersive education learning.
All right, so,
I
Jeff,
don't know how
where are
much.
they making money? How are they making money here, Jeff? Where's their
question.
business model? There's
I
nothing
don't know.
about-
It looks like they're trying to prove it out right now. Wow, it says they have 100,000 Facebook likes,
yeah?
so they must have people
Oh, good.
on here.
So
It looks like a big content play, right? I mean, the way that they have the pages laid out are just content. So the thing that I think is so unique and different about this model is it's just like, okay, I'm going to come read my news here from now on,
Okay.
or in some fashion, I'm going to do something daily here, some sort of consumption.
Okay.
Maybe they're onto something that you could also. I don't know. I really like the integration with Facebook. They're
So check this out. My browser just asked me if it wants to translate this. So obviously I
okay.
want to skip this, right? Because I want to translate it.
yeah,
as
bad Chrome.
Right. So this is an automatic feature of Chrome that I'd have to disable. But this is very interesting. I'd love to see how they're making money. Clearly, I can see how people can start using this and start learning about the world and the news through Spanish or English, depending on what you want to learn.
Yeah,
all right,
I think
so-
this is a surprisingly simple and usable way to learn a language.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not seeing the business model yet. I don't know how they're making money. Are they eventually selling, tutorial services? Are they doing a Skype thing? How are they making money? I have to say it is a lovely design. I love the fact that they've got the HTML5 player in the top. Originality, I think this is actually pretty original. Survival, I see that I'm going to give them a 4 because they're deep spam with not spam, but the deep integration with the Facebook. How are you making money? Okay, looks like I lost Jeff. I'm going to pause this. All right, Jeff's back now. Let's move on. Next up is Verold. Verold. Did I pronounce that right? So, Verold.com, Verold.com. So, now, this is Really lovely designed. So we've got a logo in the corner, Verold, and it says underneath that, Verold Studio, online 3D collaboration for CG artists. Wow.
Yeah, so I forget where I found this. So it
Th-
might have been a Angel List, but it's quite an amazing offering if it can do what it says, and I think you can play with it
This
in the
is
browser.
incredible. Wait a second. So, online 3D collaboration. Is this somehow, am I, when I'm using Maya or some other high-end 3D package, do I share my screen with people and I collaborate, or is this
No,
built-in
go ahead and click
browser based?
launch the studio with the call to action
Okay,
there.
all right. So I'm launching the studio. If Okay. Oh wow. Okay. There's some projects people have made. I like the fact that somebody's built a square. I can build a square. But let's find something cool here.
Be sure.
Wow. There's actually some
Sure
pretty
you can build a
detailed
square.
model. I'm gonna go with this guy. This character looks awesome. All right. So I've clicked on a character here, and now I've come up with a larger version of this kind of demonoid, crazy-looking character. Looks like something from World of Warcraft. And now I can actually click on camera mode. And can I spin this thing? Is this in the browser? I'm clicking on it, and nothing's happening.
Oh, you're not getting anything?
No.
Maybe you need a newer browser. It
I
worked
am in
for
Chrome.
me. I was able
Unfortunately,
to
3D view cannot be played in your browser. Click here to learn more. Okay.
you need
Wow.
to turn on 3D acceleration or something.
Okay,
Or
all right. So I'm in
what's it called?
Chrome,
Yeah.
and I may have turned off my auto updating. Wow. Okay. So Jeff, just briefly here. So are you telling me that so this, it does say ZBrush uploader. So ZBrush is an amazing 3D sculpting tool. I guess I can
Oh, okay.
model this character in ZBrush and upload in here, and then actually maneuver
Mhm.
the model in real time in 3D in the browser. Right? Am I right?
Gotcha. Yep. So yeah, maybe it's a read only on the 3D models. Okay, you can see the mouse
Yeah. And so
controls
it looks like
there. Yeah.
I can move the camera around. So yeah. So
Yeah,
this
I
is
was
kind.
able to click and drag and zoom around it.
Oh wow, very cool. Very cool.
Try
Okay.
clicking on the comment on the bottom left. It looked like there was a conversation around that. Maybe that's the collaborative part. I was hoping there'd be some editing collaborative, but maybe that's a
Okay.
little
No, I think
optimistic.
editing. You're talking about some serious horsepower. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm the way things have been moving. I do see browsers moving this direction, where we'll be able to do Photoshop in the web and 3D in Maya. I'm really excited about that. It may be 5 or 6 years out, but it's definitely coming. Okay, so it looks like I can sign up and actually and start talking to people. But I love the fact that that you can upload your model. This could definitely turn into like a 3D model marketplace, because I know there was a company called Squid something a while back when I was doing some motion graphic stuff. We were looking for 3D models, and they'd have these marketplaces where people upload their models, and then you could buy the models. You know, they're almost like clip
Yep.
art in a way. You know.
Yep. Yeah. Or
And
like stock art, right?
Stock art, exactly.
photos and
So
stuff. Yeah.
I could totally see a
Beautiful
business model there.
assets that you
I'm not
can,
seeing any buy buttons. I'm not seeing any license this or any of that.
right.
But I love the fact that this is in the browser, and these scenes are pretty intense. If you can move your camera around in this scene in the browser,
Yeah.
that is quite a technical feat, Jeff. So you were able to do
Yeah,
this?
maybe I
Like,
should. Yeah, maybe I should share my browser.
yeah, this
Get
is
Skype to crash here.
yeah, this is incredible. And some of these models are really nice. Like, look at this. This one looks like almost photorealistic. The way it looks like a facial scan or whatever. But amazing stuff. Let's see. So there is a pricing thing here. So I'm gonna click on pricing, and continue to browse, discuss 3D objects, collaborative viewing, embed 3D projects in your website. Ooh. So I can take this and
Wow.
embed it on my site. Very
Mhm.
nice. Maximum number of projects, private projects, white label. Oh, I can even white label this. That's very cool.
Yeah,
I could totally
so
see 3D studios, other
Great for
people.
people who have portfolios.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people have portfolios. Maybe they don't want to show the branding here, and they want their own branding. I could see other studios collaborating, perhaps, and they want to white label this, perhaps even. Or if I want to basically build a marketplace with 3D models, I'm going to white label their solution. I can totally see that. Very cool idea. I'm going to go ahead and let me see, where are these guys from?
Oh yeah. I'm using this on my computer, and it's even got shadows and light sources.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is really, really nice stuff.
Yeah, so it's a pretty clean website too. I like a few of the minor
Yeah.
touches that they added, like an animation to the hover on the rounded buttons, and I think they can do a lot of expanding. I'm sure there's
also
going to be
says-
tons of feature requests for them.
And they also say in their blog that they do animation. So maybe they have a timeline. I can scrub the timeline and actually see these things animating, which is incredible. It's blowing me away right now, man. All right, so we don't have too much time to keep talking about this. Let's go ahead and give it our ratings. I give these guys a 4 at least. Yeah, design is beautifully designed. Originality, again a 4. This is a technical feat. Survival, this is tricky. They definitely have a pricing grid, which is great. That means they're charging.
I think they're going to get some of these embeds, like, hopefully they can put embeddable widgets on other people's websites, the portfolios, and people that don't want to pay for the white labeling maybe can be link back traffic for them.
I don't know how much money it costs. It looks like they've built out the software. I don't know. How are they doing this? Maybe they're doing this without plugins. I'd love to see a way for them to embed this on a Facebook feed. I'd love to even see branding. It'd be great if to turn these animated things into like a scrubbable animated scene with like ads in there. I could see even turning this into even possibly an advertising piece. Who knows? I think there's a lot of options here for some very interesting monetization ideas.
Yeah, definitely. It's a cool product. I think they're ahead of their game a little bit. So hopefully they grow into it with some cool features. And some buy buttons. Get these artists paid, right?
Yes, yeah. I don't know if you know, but recently Rhythm and Hues, a local outfit here.
I was going to say that's almost a good topic for discussion on the show.
Yeah. Rhythm and Hues, which were it's a huge company, not too far, and they're here in LA. They claim bankruptcy protection because they can't afford their big operation with all the people that they've got on their salary, even though they provided the majority of effects on this incredible movie called Life of Pi. It's kind of ironic that the Life of Pi won all these awards. It's amazing, but Rhythm and Hues is going down. I'm a big believer in market forces. If Rhythm and Hues can't compete, then they should be allowed to die. I'm a big fan of actually things that they're supposed to die. Some people think that's harsh, but I'm a big believer in the market forces. I don't think you need to prop up these things. You may also argue that they just weren't very good and savvy about how they negotiate with the film studios. Maybe they should have had a little bit of a back end. So if a movie does really well, they should they should profit from it, as opposed to just work for hire. If anything, I would fault their biz dev people and they should try to get some better deals. But
I think you're probably right. It comes down to all the relationships and deals that are made over time.
But this is a trend we've been seeing. Large effects companies are going out and in their wake are small little guys within their bedroom studios working collaboratively, working online, building these amazing effects without having a big huge house to support them. So on one side is bad, one side is good. So it's a complex issue.
Lots of disruption. Technology is making a huge dent, right?
That's exactly it.
The fact that you're able to send these massive video files overseas and back in a timely manner where you don't have to ship a DVD or something. And
that's exactly right.
Some of those things are changing what's possible. And so
absolutely. And so back in the day, I remember when we used to work together, we had a big, huge server farm to render files. Now there are outfits that have massive farms that you can just rent the time. And so
this is Amazon, man. I think at that same time, I remember you and I were going to Amazon's kind of AWS Cloud EC2 promotion things, trying to get people revved up about all the cool things you could do with it. One of the people who jumped on right away was, what was it, something Rocket, where they were just doing renders. All they were doing was video.
Or something,
it's genius for the whole Hollywood industry.
Exactly.
And
so if I'm a little guy, me and Jeff are like kick-ass animators, designers, or whatever modelers. We can create these intricate scenes, and then if we want to render it, we don't need to have a massive house like Rhythm and Hues with their huge server farm. We just send it off to this massive, this cloud thing, and it does, and 10 minutes later, bang, there it is. So the cloud server thing has definitely disrupted the visual effects industry. So as sad as I am to see that a lot of people's livelihood are at stake, there's some opportunity there as well. So.
Yeah, again, there's a big conversation about the skill of the artists who are involved actually doing the work, and hopefully they can survive through all the bull crap.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. I think that's it for our show for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, you can reach me at @Amol_Patel and Jeff at Comster. If you have any questions or suggestions or comments, please don't feel free to get in touch with us and let us know what you think.
One last thing. I also got the email from Stitcher that we got listed on the Stitcher directory. So a big plug out there for the Stitcher app on the iPhone. If any of you guys like to listen to podcasts on your iPhone, if you haven't used the Stitcher app, it's really great for people who love to listen to like AM radio style podcasts. And we're in there now, and it's a real great way to consume your podcasts. So check that out.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, Jeff, thanks for being on the show with me today.
Yeah, of course. You too.
All right, Jeff.
All right.
And thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next time.
Yep. See you tomorrow.